Oh, like that. Salmaan, tell us about your interest in pizza.
I like pizza. Real thing is, I like pizza. What else would I rather eat than pizza? I like pizza. I get pizza t-shirts to play along with the joke. I think it has some of my favorite pizza. Always asking for pizza. I've had so much pizza. It's not.
Can you make one?
Absolutely not.
Mr. Hamadh?
I'm student slash teacher at Meu Labs. I started my first course in Meu Labs, analytics. I created a COVID dashboard during the lockdown. We learned Python. And then I moved on to software engineering. Now I am currently learning data science. From the teacher's perspective, it's much more tougher.
The society I run is game design, so I teach people how to make games. But basically like 2D Zelda Breath of the Wild kind of.
Scratch?
In Scratch. Overly
Oh my
ambitious, and it worked.
I see you carrying around a lot of laptops. Why?
3 laptops,
Okay.
1 tab, and 2 desktops.
I started with product design course, fingerprint door lock. I think it's here. It's been in better conditions, but trust me, it looked better when we got it.
React, I learned it in Meu Labs, so I never learned it anywhere else. Like for example, Python and HTML, you can find it in courses many places.
I was into a very niche genre of gaming called RTS, or real-time strategy games. You guys might have heard these things like Age of Empires and all of that. But there was also a game called StarCraft. SC2.
StarCraft.
Yeah. So that's what I used to play back then. Okay, so hello and welcome everyone to another installment to our Meu Labs podcast series, where we want to try something new today. We want to do it, do a AMA or Ask Me Anything, where we have invited 2 students from Meu Labs to join us, and they have the chance to ask us anything, and for me to also ask them anything. And yeah, so that is the plan for today. If you guys are wondering why we have these weird tools, well, we actually didn't have 3 mics for all 3 of us, so we only had 2, and we decided to stick it into the tools that we have here. So to start things off, we'll maybe ask some questions from you guys.
Yeah, sure.
So, Salmaan, so can you tell us a little bit about yourself? You know, where you're from, your background, and all that. Yeah.
I'm from here itself, Colombo. I school at the British School in Colombo, and like my robotics background or just general.
Just general. If you were to introduce yourself to someone, what would you say?
That's a tricky one. I can see how this podcast is gonna go. Okay, so yeah, I'm from Colombo. I'm 14 years old. I have a younger brother. So we're a family of 4. And yeah, what else? What else
So,
we say in introduction?
Can you tell us about your interest in pizza? I think that's something that I really wanted to ask you. Like, why the obsession with pizza?
Okay, it really comes down to I like pizza.
Okay.
Like, it's kind of deep, but the only real thing is I like pizza. I enjoy it, and at some point I realized that what else would I rather eat than pizza? So from there it just kind of spiraled. Anytime my friends would ask like, okay, what do you like to eat? Do you want to eat anything? I'd always respond pizza because I like pizza, and then it just became a thing amongst my friends, and from there, you know, it just became a part. I get pizza t-shirts to play along with the joke, and
Okay.
yeah.
Interesting. Do you have a favorite type of pizza?
I like pepperoni, beef pepperoni on a nice Italian or New York thin crust pizza.
Nice. Can you make one?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Shall we have I want to continue this pizza conversation, but I want to hear from Mr. Hamadh over here. You want to introduce yourself, Mr. Hamadh?
So yeah, I am Hamadh Insaf, and I'm student slash teacher at Meu Labs.
So that's a first. You are you're the second person who turned student instructor, but you're the first full-time instructor we've had at Meu Labs.
Possibly the youngest as well, right?
Yeah. How old are you, by the way?
15.
15. So, as a trainee, you get to experience what it's like to teach, experience the other side of things.
Yes.
Yeah. So what is that like, Hamadh?
Um, let's first look at the student perspective. Um, I started my first course in Meu Labs as in analytics. So I created a COVID dashboard during the lockdown, and that's where I actually saw the potential because we learned Python, and I was like, why would Python actually be helpful? Because Python is always in the command line, and many users are very scared of the command line. But
Yeah.
then I saw what we can build with Python using packages like such as Streamlit. Yeah, so we built a COVID dashboard using an API and deployed it, and it's there on the internet somewhere.
Okay.
And then I moved on to software engineering. So this is where I really got to shine.
Yeah.
So I made multiple websites there, such as blogging websites, e-commerce websites, and so on. And that's also helped me learn new languages such as React, which it's not a language, but yeah, I learned a lot. And then now I am currently learning data science. So I believe it's the newest course, right? The
Yeah,
latest
one of
course.
the newest ones. that
Yeah,
we had.
latest.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm learning that. I'm in the middle of that. And now, in the teacher's perspective, it's much more tougher than I
Really? You
expected.
think so? Okay.
Yeah. Handling kids my age is not a problem, but younger kids, yes.
Yeah.
But at the same time, since I have studied, I know where students might go wrong, where they might need help, and so on, and I might know their antics,
Yeah.
where they try to do
They
things.
take shortcuts
Yes,
and
exactly.
not do their work. And,
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
Okay.
So because I also used to take them, so so I can encourage them to not do and spot mainly. And now AI is a big thing, and that's one of the main things. So
Yeah.
especially when during individual classes, I especially say students to share your screen continuously and make sure to see that they are typing and not just copy pasting. And yeah, that's helped me a lot, and that's also definitely given me a perspective of what teachers need to feel as well. And yeah, I came into this job thinking that teaching is like just explaining, blabbering, and then expecting students to do work. But then I see students have confusions, and we need to be patient and work with the student as well.
So did you gain a better appreciation for your teachers for
Definitely.
putting up with all the stuff
Definitely.
that kids do?
I mean, I was not one of them personally. I
Yeah.
was considered one of the good guys.
Okay.
But there were students not only here at school as well who were definitely going to be a pain to students, to teachers. Sorry.
Okay. So, okay, let me ask you this question then. Who is your favorite teacher in Meu Labs?
In Meu Labs.
Other than me, of course, yeah.
So I've been taught by couples, so Miss Madhushi, Miss Rashini,
Yeah.
Josh sir. But I've spent the majority of my time with Josh sir. So
Yeah.
I have never met him physically. He's, I believe, in Dubai, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I've talked with him online, and I've done most of the projects with him. So yeah, I guess it would be him, the favorite.
What do you like the most about him?
Mainly I'm a bit biased because I spent lots of time with
Yeah,
him. The
yeah.
first course was with him. The last course also was with him.
Yeah.
And the main thing is he teaches he teaches advanced stuff. So normally like SC course, even though it's an advanced course for many students, it's it's below my standard.
Okay.
So then I requested from, I believe, another lecturer
Yeah.
that it's a bit too easy and I want to go up, and then they handed me over to Josh, which he gave me to create a user management system.
Okay.
And it's like it's the full database, everything is configured, and yeah, I'm completed with that as well.
Nice. Okay. I want to ask the same thing from Salmaan. What do you think?
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone here, maybe Sankajas or someone might know, but I'm also a teacher of somewhat. So there's this society in my school that I've started, and along with a friend, I teach kids. The only kids I've really gotten are like young, not incredibly young, but like 11, 12 years old.
Okay.
And it is a pain. My God. The society I run is game design, so I teach people how to make games. So side
Okay.
note, if you ever want to do that, Instructor number 1.
Got it. Well noted.
So,
Okay.
and they're constantly trying to get away with it. The problem is not only are they trying to get away, but they actually want to do something. They're like, I want to make this game, but I don't think they understand the concept of bug fixing. Like, they're like, why isn't this working? This should work. When it's really complicated, you have to continuously run things, and like, you understand, right?
Yeah,
It doesn't
yeah,
work
yeah.
in one shot, but they don't get that exactly. So anytime they come with a problem, they come to me immediately.
Yeah.
And I also have to sit there bug fixing and that's really how you learn. Like, you run, oh, this does that, that does this.
So where did you learn how to fix bugs?
I was doing robotics for a while, so I always knew relative coding.
Yeah.
And there's this game engine called Godot.
Okay. Is that
Godot.
what you use in?
Yeah, that's what I use in class. It's really simple.
Yeah.
You can make a game without even coding, really, but more complicated. You do need to code. So this engine, it was kind of intuitive, but I watched one or two tutorials and got the idea of it. From there, I've just kind of been messing around myself. And personally, I don't think I know that much. Probably just enough to teach like basic level students. But I'm trying to get more and more complicated. So, yeah.
Okay. So just out of curiosity, like what do you just teach Godot, or do you teach stuff like Unity or Unreal Engine or anything like that, or have you used like Pygame, like even more basic level, or do you do game development on Scratch? I've seen some people make games on Scratch, which are pretty interesting.
Yeah, actually, I really got into game design. There was this for BCR competition.
Okay.
And for my age, you could enter block coding. And I didn't really know how to use any game engine. So I was like, yeah, I kind of know Scratch. I'd messed around with it in school. So my first project was incredibly ambitious. It was an open world RPG, but basically like 2D Zelda Breath of the Wild kind of.
In Scratch.
Overly
Oh my
ambitious, and it worked. It
Really?
worked.
I
It worked.
actually want to play it. Like, if we can add add a interlude or something in the podcast, and maybe add the gameplay of what's it called?
I never published it. That's one of the biggest problems. It worked. Then but by the time,
Have it on your Scratch account?
no, I was using
Are you serious?
this thing version, the mobile app version, and that my laptop had a Windows error, and I had to completely reinstall Windows. So I lost everything in that.
Wow. If you were to remake that game, how long do you think it'll take?
Honestly, I don't remember a lot of it. Maybe like I spent a solid month or two, so maybe like a month.
Okay.
1.5 months. Problem is, once I was done with it, I had passed the deadline for the actual to sign up.
Oh, okay. So you never actually
So
submitted.
it never saw the day.
Wow. Okay.
I'm sure that it was filled with bugs because I was the only one who ever tested it. Because again, it never saw any real this thing.
Okay.
But no, one of my friends actually, the friend I'm doing it with, actually stumbled upon Godot. Earlier, he was using Pygames, and I was trying to make games in Unity. Both of us were failing quite miserably, so we were like, let's try something else. We tried Godot.
Yeah.
It was Python. He didn't know Python, but I knew basic coding logic, so I figured it out. And he also eventually figured it out. And after a year, we were like, let's start a society so we can both improve, kind of. And that's how it started. Some hardships in getting through the school system. We had to go to the person in charge.
Yeah.
And physically into the office and like, can you please approve this? Because they had just not seen it.
Yeah.
And eventually we got it.
Okay.
We got it midterms, no one really joined. But eventually got some people, and it was incredibly annoying.
Okay, that's good to hear. Let's continue. I want to talk more about that too. So Hamadh, you said. So what I wanted to ask from you is, I see you carrying around a lot of laptops. Why? What is your thinking behind that, Hamadh?
Mainly redundancy. So let me see. I have 3 laptops,
Okay.
1 tab, and 2 desktops.
3 laptops, 1 tab, and 1 desktop. 2 desktops.
2 desktops.
So 6 devices in total.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Wow.
So one is just for my main coding, and all. Then one is the exact same model,
Okay.
but okay, for redundancy, actually I had it. So my laptop's motherboard, one of the RAM sticks was broken.
Okay.
RAM slots.
Yeah.
So what I just did was I just took the SSD and the hard disk and plugged it into the next motherboard. So I actually kept it for redundancy, and somehow turned out well.
What's a redundancy? Can you explain what redundancy is?
Yeah, so redundancy is like some extra measures kept.
Yeah.
So for example, my example, I had a broken laptop, and since I had a working laptop, I could have I used that instead. And then my third laptop is just there. I have never used it. My desktop one is a server.
Yeah, you want to say something?
Never used it feels kind of this thing. I feel like 2 laptops for one model is generally enough, because one thing breaks here, another thing breaks here, they both don't work. You just take the working thing from here to here. 3
Yeah.
laptops feels a bit much, especially to be carrying around.
Yeah, because they are heavy. They are old models and they all have hard disks.
Okay, so do you carry them around like all 3 laptops? Only 2?
No, 2 of them. Currently, I just
Okay.
have one. But yeah,
That
normally
makes a bit more
Yeah,
sense.
I normally take my laptop, one laptop, and a tab, and my tab. So my tab is a Surface, so it's still Windows. So I can still code on it because after all, I'm a programmer.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then I have 2 desktops. One desktop does not work again, and then another desktop is my server. So
Oh, you run a server
yes,
Yeah.
for
and it is a cloud server mainly. So
for like what? Just storing photos or?
yes, I have 1 TB allocated. So I have a cloud storage. So instead of paying for Google Drive, I have a UPS. I have my internet connection, everything set up on the UPS, and I run it there on my cloud server. And I'm looking to improve it to become an AI server as well using Olama. Have you heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to do that. I have a GTX card, so it's bad, but still I can experiment it. I'm planning to upgrade it, sell all my computers, upgrade the server to a 9000 AMD 9000 series build, and actually properly experiment because I'm limited by the hardware I have.
Yeah. But no, wouldn't you rather go for like a NVIDIA GPU? They're more AI optimized than AMD also.
Yes, so I meant AMD CPU, so I would go normally with the 3060 NVIDIA.
Solid.
Yeah, 3060. That should be enough for my level.
But whatever you do, I recommend 8 gigabytes because
Definitely.
8 gigabytes minimum. I'd like 6. You'd prefer 16.
16. Yeah.
But not the like actual memory. I'm talking about the
VRAM.
the card, the VRAM. Yes.
Yes. Yeah. The problem is one is the expense, and the other thing is one of the main reasons you need this is if you're gaming, especially, you need 16 GB. Actually, 8 GB is not an option anymore. If you buy an 8 GB, you are just you made a loss. Yeah.
8 GB RAM or VRAM?
VRAM.
No, actually, depends.
No, newer games it's very hard.
In 1440p, yeah, I have a 1080p gaming laptop.
Yeah.
It has a 4060, 8 gigabytes, and I run everything in like 144 frames.
Yeah. So for newer games, yes, it will be a problem. For current games, yeah, I don't mind 8 GB.
And for newer games, as long as you're not gaming in 1440p, I feel like you can do 1080p gaming with 8 GB.
No, like for example, the 5060 Ti, it comes with 8 GB RAM, right?
Yeah.
And the 5060 is the latest model, so it's supposed to play the latest games and pretty high this one.
But again, the 5060 is a 1080p.
Yeah.
1080p is fine for this thing.
Yeah, 1080p is fine. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Yeah, mainly it's for RAM, I would prefer 32 minimum. At least for my server.
16 is minimum now. 32 is, I feel like, necessary though.
Yeah, 32 is necessary. Like for example, especially if you're streaming,
Yeah.
recording streaming, you need that much.
Yeah.
But mainly, I'm not going to use this for gaming or anything. But I need for virtual machines. I
Right.
love to experiment with virtual machines.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah,
What do you run, like Linux on a virtual machine?
mainly Linux. Yeah,
Uh,
and I'm trying to install like Scratch OSs, like not made from the Linux even. So there's something like Ghost BSD. There's
yeah, I've heard of it.
You heard of it? Yeah. So it's not actually Linux. It is actually, I believe, from Scratch built.
Yeah, okay. This thing, what the distro Linux?
My go-to would be definitely Ubuntu.
Really?
Ubuntu. That's like for beginners, every beginner and programmer as well. Ubuntu is the best.
Yeah.
It's very easy for Windows users. there's a new OS called Anduin OS. It is created by a Microsoft engineer, and it looks exactly like Windows. You can maybe there can be snapshots shown.
Yeah.
It's actually like Windows. So yeah, I actually experimented with that. It's really nice. It's very.
Have you
yeah.
heard of like another substitute for Windows, Tiny OS? It's like Windows, like they've taken the Windows code,
Tiny
they
11.
stripped it down.
Yeah, I have a virtual machine on that as well. The only downside is you can't update. You would have to download the full Windows ISO, new ISO, and then
Like clean it out. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
so that is.
So just to summarize, let's say that I am someone who's wants to get started with gaming. What sort of a rig would you guys recommend for them?
I'd say you go first.
Yeah. So it depends on, first of all, how, if you have previous experience in gaming before.
Complete newbie.
Completely newbie.
But I want to get into, these AAA type games. Like
AAA type. Okay, for AAA types, I would recommend graphics over FPS.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I would go with high-end graphics card, definitely 50 series if you can afford it. So I would go minimum 1440p, so around 5080, 5070, 5080.
In 1440p.
Yeah, in 4040p.
Okay.
Here's the thing, you can with a 5080, if you're going 5080, I'd recommend upgrading 5080 Ti, because it's like, I think like $30 more for almost 25% performance, 25% increase in performance. It's like
TI is the one that has ray tracing or whatever.
all of them have ray tracing. This thing, the 4080 Ti is basically, they make 5090s, but if one core of the 5090 doesn't add up, they scrap it. They, instead of scrapping it, they go call it a 5080 Ti and they sell it to you. It's less than a 5090, but
Okay.
it's not significantly, but it's better than a 5080.
Interesting.
So that's what I would recommend. And honestly, with this modern market, you can kind of go for both FPS and this thing. You just have to kind of swap settings. Higher settings in AAA and lower settings in competitive.
Exactly. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. I feel
But-
like you guys are giving Linus a run for his money now.
Yeah, but honestly, I have a slightly different opinion, but I'd just like him to share his first.
Yeah. So again, I agree with what you said.
Yeah.
So for the CPU, definitely AMD. Intel's a bit low. So it also depends on your budget as well. So
Okay.
yeah. So typically, how much would your budget be in dollars?
Like $1,500, something like
Okay,
that.
$1,500. That's something we can work with. 1,000 to 1,500. That's something we can work with. So yeah, that's a good amount.
Yeah.
So yeah, it can have a good 40 series build, but 4090 build or a 5080 build. Yeah.
Okay. So if any of you guys want any recommendations on building your PC setup, you know who to reach out to. These two seem to be very good experts.
My friends already do. Okay, it's fine. You can.
Yeah. So to be honest, there are many options for if you are budget bowler, definitely you need to try the Intel Arc, the Battle Arc. Yeah, the B580. That's good for budget bowlers. But yeah, if you are, especially since you are also into data science and all, and you would like to do this programming, then yeah, NVIDIA would be the best.
Okay.
Especially for ray tracing, since you're playing AAA games. For competitive, AMD is also fine, since you would prefer more FPS over this. But yeah, for AAA games, it's good.
Okay. Interesting.
I'm just gonna give my output. I'll try and keep it short, but it's a bit complicated. Generally, a low-end build would be $900. For that, you go 4070 or 4060, depending on the market. Right now, it's absolutely
Yes.
abysmal. So there, or not the B580, but I feel like a 90s AMD, like a 9700 would be nice. And for the CPU, you'd go Ryzen 7 or no, even Ryzen 5, high-end Ryzen 5 model, or Ryzen 7. Forgive, I'm not exactly sure on all the digits after that. For 1000 to 1500, that's like solid 1440p. You go 4070 Ti, 4080, um, Ryzen 7 minimum, or Ryzen 7 XD maybe, Ryzen 7000 XD 3D, sorry, 3D, or Ryzen 900. Like
Okay.
you don't go below Ryzen 700. But here's for like the really really cheap. This is like below $500. You go find a beta PC on Facebook Marketplace, wherever, and just put in a graphics card. You will find a lot of these desktops, optiplexes, yeah. Just given up by massive when companies go under, or they're just upgrading. A lot of them, they'll have a CPU. You put in a basic graphics card, basically the best you can afford, and you have a system that can play 1080p mid to high settings depending on game.
Okay. Okay. So let's try to shift gears a little bit, and maybe talk a little bit about. So I'm really curious because both of you, the two of you guys, have gone on like bit of different paths in terms of what you eventually ended up doing at Meu Labs and beyond, right? So Hamadh, I feel like you kind of went in the software engineering, data science route, and Salman, you sort of went more towards robotics, IoT, that sort of route. So maybe I'll start with Salman. Salman, let's do that.
Yeah.
So you want to tell me a little bit about how you navigated through the Meu Labs ecosystem, the different courses, and how you sort of ended up where you are right now.
Okay, so I think I should start at how I am now. I started with product design course. It's a relatively basic course, but me and my other friend that I was also doing it with were a bit more advanced in Arduino and just general robotics. So they signed us up. So they gave us a really complicated topic. A fingerprint door lock. It may sound like nothing to most people, but like it's too complicated than it should be.
Do you have it anywhere?
I think it's here, or
this
it's
one?
dismantled. Yeah, there it is.
You want to?
Yeah.
Okay, it's someone
It-
dismantled it, but
It's been in better conditions,
Yeah.
but trust me, it looked better when we got it.
Yeah.
But this is my product now.
Yeah.
And now I am doing an embedded systems course, which is like Raspberry Pi, ESP32, just a bunch of different microcontrollers and just more complicated in general. And truth be told, I've never had to really navigate the Meu Labs ecosystem, mainly being lit with because I've always known what I wanted to do. From a very young age, I knew I wanted to be a scientist. I went to a robotics course when I was like 6 to 8. Fell in love with it. That's been my experience with robotics. Then I fell out of it. Would occasionally try and use it, but I had no clue how to use the Arduino. And then when I came to and by the time I came to Meu Labs, I had a rough idea on the programming side and what exactly this is and how to use it.
yeah.
But I knew I wanted to do robotics. So
Okay.
I never had to, should I go analytics? Should I go this side? No, I knew what I wanted to do.
Okay. Hamadh,
Yeah.
floor is all yours.
So I definitely got my inspiration from my father. So he was a software project manager, and he worked in big companies and worked for huge clients such as Sony and so on. I mainly found my passion at school during a computer science lesson where we were introduced to code.org. So I
Okay.
think you might have heard of it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
pretty common.
It's in our
popular.
foundations course.
Yeah.
Knowledge Explorers one.
Yes,
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
very popular. So yeah, we got there, and I found the concepts easy to learn. And then also for challenged questions, I found it easy as well. And I was like, maybe this is good. And I found the problem solving to be one of my strong points. So problem solving, I know to many is pretty hard, but for me it was one of my strong points.
Okay.
And that also led me to some other parts as well.
How did you know that you are a good problem solver?
The thing is, I knew what to do even before I knew the concepts.
Okay.
Like, for example, I would review questions in codology before I watch the videos. That's like a small habit of mine. And then I understand, okay, I might need to do this, and then I watched a video on like the explaining how you need to do it, and I found out that I just need to tweak my steps a bit, which I caught up in my mind, and then I do.
So you had some sort of like a sixth sense as to what you
Exactly.
should do?
Yes, like small future prediction on how to do it.
Interesting.
So yeah, and from then we went into Scratch, so
Yeah.
another block coding software where I made some games and I watched tutorials, especially from Griffpatch. I highly recommend him. He made cool games in Scratch such as Geometry Dash and Space Shooters. Many Scratchers would have definitely heard him. He has a huge following based on Scratch. And yeah, from there I went into coding in Replit. So Replit is an online IDE.
Okay.
I coded there for before they removed their free, before they became a bit more restricted for the free plan. They restricted the amount of projects we made from unlimited to I believe 10, and I did not. That was not enough for me as a student, especially. So I then moved on to VS Code. So VS Code was a bit more manual work since I had to install the packages.
Yeah.
But yeah, from there, and I'm still in VS Code, and I don't think I'll be moving on to VS Code for some time. Maybe next would be Visual Studio. But yeah, as in programming languages, I started with code tutorials and Scratch, then Python, then HTML and CSS,
Yeah.
and JavaScript. Then I believe React. So React is in JavaScript. So React I learned it in Meu Labs. So I never learned it anywhere else. Like for example, Python and HTML and all, you can find it in courses many places.
Yeah.
But React was something I learned in school. I mean in Meu Labs. And then also while learning React, I learned about C and C++. So
Okay.
they are very advanced. This one I did basics, not like only just command line, not GUI apps. So graphical user interface apps, not
Yeah,
those.
yeah.
The simple command line apps.
Yeah.
And then in uni I learned C#. So uni in the sense foundation. I did not do A levels. Instead I did a bridging course for computer science, computing, and I did C# there. And that's so far that is my most hated language. C#.
C# is the most hated language. So
Yes.
you know game development is not for you.
No, I know. I mean, I tried game development in Scratch, but I never got into it. I
Yeah.
loved creating it, but the
Okay.
logic is much more harder.
Interesting. Okay.
Same for mechatronics as well.
Okay. Interesting. All right. So why don't we turn the tables around a bit? I know you guys have been itching to maybe ask any questions from me. Is there anything you want to ask from me?
I have a question.
Okay.
So, with the rise of AI, everything's changing. That is pretty much clear. But the question being, how do you think this affects new coders? Because by the time AI became a big thing, I generally knew coding logics. I was quite good in C coding especially for Arduino. But I've noticed that I hardly do any coding. I ask AI to code it for me,
Yeah.
and then I'll put it in. If there's any issues, then I'll look through bug fix. Sometimes even if the issue is huge and like I think based in the program, I give it to AI and it gives me something else back. But that works because I know programming. I can spot the issues. But for new programmers, how do you think this affects them?
That's a good question. I think this is a good segue into the previous podcast that we did with Cheyenne and I, where we, I think, talked about similar aspects in terms of the impact of AI in software engineering. So, in my opinion, I think you guys know that there are different levels of abstraction in programming languages.
Yeah.
You have the lower level languages, and then you go layer by layer up. So at the very basic level, you have binary, right? That is run on the hardware devices itself.
Yeah.
Then maybe a few layers up, you have stuff like machine code. Then you have stuff like C code. And then you have, modern languages like, JavaScript, Python, and all of these stuff, HTML, CSS, which might have been built on top of some of those languages. And what I believe is that what we do through ChatGPT will potentially be maybe another layer of abstraction like that, where which could be the final layer of abstraction, which is the natural language. So you just talk to computers with English or whatever language that you're comfortable with, and you have something similar to what compilers do, converts it into the relevant programming language, and then they use it. I know in terms of technology, in terms of implementation, we are not there yet. Maybe we might not even get there, but I think that's sort of where things are headed. In terms of the impact of that phenomenon on new programmers, new coders, what I think is it's going to make it very easy for new people to start programming, start coding. However, it creates a even bigger gap between people who want to be professional programmer, software engineers, and the industry. Because what we notice in terms of trends is that mid-level engineers, these are not entry-level engineers, people who matured a little bit, they might be decreasing, or even entry-level software engineering job opportunities are also decreasing. That's because the senior engineers, they'd much rather get ChatGPT or some agent to build out the softwares that they want to build out rather than working with a human being. So that is the other side of, I think, the AI coin, I would say.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you have a question?
Yes. So this is like a bit of your opinion.
Yeah.
I want to know, in the 22nd century, what jobs will AI replace? I know there will be plenty of jobs AI will replace by then, because even though it seems slow, when you look back a few years, AI could not even generate a proper image correctly. But now we have proper image generation.
Yeah.
And now we have video generation as well. It's not good,
Yeah.
but that means in a few years it will be good as well. And OpenAI has introduced a coding agent called Codex, which is okay.
Yeah.
So it's pretty. I think we can all assume that in the 22nd century, the AI is going to replace a lot of jobs. So my question is, what kind of jobs will be replaced? What kind of jobs will what kind of jobs where AI will be integrated into, and what jobs where AI can never do it for at least the 23rd or 24th century?
So just to make sure that my math is correct, 21st century means anything after 2100, right? 2100, right?
Yeah.
So what I think is that by the time we reach the year 2100, maybe we'll be way past AI. It'll be a completely new technology that we don't even know about right now. The way I would talk about is, have you guys heard this thing called the Industrial Revolutions?
Yes.
Right. I think I talked about this a few times too, maybe.
Yeah.
Like, so you had different industrial revolutions that humanity and society sort of went through. The first one being the revolution around steam power, steam engines, and that really allowed Great Britain back then to become like one of the biggest nations in the world. They colonized so many countries, including Sri Lanka, and they became superpower because they were one of the people to pioneer this technology. And then came electricity. And right now, electricity is everywhere. Even this podcast is running because of electricity, right?
Yeah.
We can't imagine living our lives without it. And then we had the computing revolution, right? So that is computers, computing devices. It's not just laptops, smartphones, smart devices, IoT devices, which you are building. All of those stuff is encompassed in the computing revolution, right? And also maybe the internet, that is basically computers connected with each other, right? So the fourth industrial revolution, according to experts, we are currently in it. And we don't know what it is, but there are a few contenders, right? AI, Internet of Things, robotics, maybe stuff like blockchain. We have various technologies, but I think the forerunner is AI right now.
Yeah.
But the interesting thing is the gap between these individual technologies is decreasing. The amount of years it took us to go from the first to second is maybe hundreds, then 50s, then 20s. Now it's just tens, because the computers maybe came out, in the 1990s, maybe, right? 1990s, 1980s. And by the time we're in the 2000s, we already have AI. We use it, maybe at least the founding principles of that has been established, right? So by the time we get to 2100, I'm just thinking we'll maybe go through 5, 6, 10 of more of those revolutions. So it's going to be very difficult to predict what 2100 is going to look like. Of course.
Okay, so that question, I have a very controversial take on it. I think everything. There will be no human jobs left. Because the way you think about AI is you give it a job. The more it does that job, the better it gets at that job because it gets more experience from the job. It's like a human, but it learns several times as fast. Because you can't have the same human doing 50 different jobs or 50 different versions of the same job. But you can have an AI doing that. So I think by then everything will be replaced. Maybe just for public conscience, we'll have 1 or 2 people posted in all these AI industries just to check up on things and see how things are doing. The real concern then is how will our economy function? And that I have no clue. So maybe someone who knows economics should answer that.
Hamadh, do you have anything you want to add to that?
For the industrial revolutions, I think by that time it would most probably be redefined.
Yeah.
The term industrial revolutions, because normally it's something big, right? So if it's something related to AI, I don't think it will be another huge revolution since it's related to AI as well. There may be a revolution, who knows? It's way beyond us. Maybe it's some flying cars, maybe transportation, who knows? But right now, the revolution is what, a 10-year gap between the last? So, yeah. So right now we don't have a fixed gap between the revolutions, but in the future there may be definitions, a proper definition, a defined gap. So I believe there are many terms like that where after some time only they properly defined it.
So there's a very interesting paper that was written. It's called AI 2027. I just looked it up by Daniel Kochlos. I don't know how to pronounce the last name. Maybe I'll link it. I think it's about it's sort of a scenario building exercise where they look at how AI is progressing right now and try to predict what society is going to look like in the next 5, 10, 15 or so years. One of the main concerns they've said is sort of AI becoming autonomous, and also humans basically losing control over what the AI optimizes for. Because when we build machine learning AI models, we set the constraints, right? We say you want to optimize for this XYZ things, or this is what you need to do. We set the boundaries, right? But what that paper essentially says is at some point AI is going to realize the boundaries, the constraints that humans set is insufficient, and it's going to come up with its own set of values. And humans are not going to be a part of that value system. And we might eventually end up being in a situation where we have been exploited by AI. So we have AI overloads who are controlling over the entire planet. Yeah. And that's what they say, which might be a definite possibility that could happen. Do I think that's possible? Maybe, maybe not. But I think it's something people who are learning about AI, people who are developing AI tools should be cognizant of. And we should definitely think about mitigating those eventualities.
Definitely, this AI overload thing is a bit controversial because some people believe that's not possible. Some people believe that's absolutely possible. Yeah. But there was a study where they had Claude and ChatGPTs were working in a isolated environment, working in a company. I think it's a pretty common, pretty famous study as well, where they worked in the company and they managed all the internal emails and all.
Okay.
And they learned that the company was about to shut down that AI model for another new AI model.
Okay.
So what Claude did was it found out that one of the engineers who was responsible for maintaining this had an affair with another this one. Okay. And he tried to use it to blackmail the engineer to keep it on.
Wow, okay.
ChatGPT, it took one step further and tried to escape to an external server.
Interesting.
Though,
Okay.
imagine if if it escaped to an external server, it would mean that it's out of control. It does not have constraints and it could spread. So now with the current developments, it might get worse. And if it can even, who knows, it can even break cybersecurity as well. Cybersecurity will take on another level, especially for AI.
Yeah.
Now, currently, cybersecurity is divided into viruses, then scams. But now there will be soon, I believe, another division for specifically for AI as well.
Yeah.
So that's the main concern, and that's why it's very controversial as well. That's from my
So
point.
on a very philosophical level, again, to continue on your question, what I believe is AI is going to continue to push us to rethink what it means to be humans. Because when we say, a human being, a human or a person is someone who has a job, who makes money, maybe that might not be the case. We need to think about what kind of jobs we do, how we make money, whether money is going to be a part of it. We don't know. So I think what I know for sure is that it's constantly pushing us to rethink what it means to be human.
About the AI. Okay, so about this AI overloads, I have a theory.
Okay.
I like to call it the racism theory for no particular reason. Okay, no, there's a reason. So, what will happen is eventually AI will become so smart, it will realize. I don't think they'll take over humans because humans are inefficient. Humans, they need breaks, they need all of this. I think one or two possibilities. First of all, it will completely ignore humans and maybe three actually, send them wherever, and it'll do its own thing until humans become a problem, at which it'll be exterminated. It'll exterminate it immediately, or it'll kind of learn to coexist with humanity, but maybe by becoming an AI form, like a robot of some kind.
Okay.
Or it'll kind of generate its own heat, like flesh and blood. There's a lot of this thing, graphic novels about this concept of AI, of like fleshy AI. And it'll generate flesh from a variety of reasons. Maybe it'll see how well it survives, even when it's kind of injured and beyond this thing, it can do this. It's kind of all-in-one system. It can survive on its own. It can do this for a variety of reasons. Might swap to AI, or human forms, or just flesh forms, or it'll be a robot form. But at that point, AI will be so smart, it'll be comparable or better than humans. At which point, it'll be like, will AI consider us inferior? And if it coexists with us, will they treat us like, how like slavery and like dark-skinned people were treated, 1900s England and whatnot? Will that be the situation? Like will we be treating AI as lower and not worthy of what we deserve, or will AI eventually start treating us as lower and not worthy of what they deserve?
So let me ask you a question. So according to you guys, that is a possibility. That's an eventual thing that could happen.
Yeah.
Right? And in this table, we have a button right now. If you push that button, we'll stop all AI progress. Would you guys push that button?
Absolutely not, because I believe the true purpose of humanity is to eventually reach peak laziness where we have to do nothing and enjoy everything.
And eat pizza all day.
Of course.
Okay. Hamadh, what do you think?
Technically, pressing that button is like going to cut off electricity or cut off the whole internet. We would just become cavemen.
All right.
Because I know many people rely on ChatGPT. I have heard stories where ChatGPT has become people's therapists.
Yeah.
And at first I was like, I don't know how people are so down bad to be therapists. But then I've read more stories, and then I've seen people, especially Sri Lankan boy I've heard has planned to commit suicide because his AI girlfriend won't marry him.
Okay.
So going to that kind of dependency, it's scary. But at the same time, imagine if you press that button, what would happen? That would cause catastrophic. Now, for example, if you cut off electricity, for example, all the nuclear plants would melt down. Like that, there might be a consequence if we do that for AI as well.
Yeah, it just reminds me of a book called Homo Deus by Yuval Noah Harari. I think he speaks about. He also wrote the book *Sapiens*. That's a more famous book that he's written.
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
heard
I
about
think we
it.
have the book here. Yeah, we do. We have the book right here. Like it basically talks about how the Homo sapien race is going to end at some point, and we'll have a new race called Homo Deus, or the digital human. I think that's what he calls it. And we are going to sort of merge with technology, and it's going to be like a new species. We're just going to progress, something like that. Maybe it's a definitely good read. Even I haven't read properly through the entire book. So maybe we can get ChatGPT to summarize it for us and tell us the gist of the book. But yeah, I think maybe that's a good place to. Okay, let's move on to a different topic. I think we spoke about AI. I think.
AI is a huge topic. It's a huge topic.
It is a huge topic. Any other questions that you guys want to ask?
I have regarding Meu Labs. So I know the number of courses mainly focus on tech.
Yeah.
So, for example, we have product design, so mainly through robotics.
Yeah.
Then cakes, so like exploring vast this ones fields. Then software engineering, analytics, and data science. So, what is next? Because after all, computer science is like a huge variety. So, there's graphic designing, cybersecurity, cloud. So,
So in terms of our ecosystem, Hamadh, what we want to try to build is a place where kids can come and figure out what their interests and what their passions are. We don't necessarily want to constrain anyone to, say, hey, you should be a software engineer, you should be an engineer, whatever, We want to, create an environment where it's as open as possible, given, constraints, certain constraints. So in terms of courses, I think some of the lesser known courses that, is seeing a new interest is our creative expression course. That is similar to the analytics and product design course you took. It's one of our second level courses, but that focuses more on digital media production, videography, music, theater arts, those sort of areas. So yeah, you have a question?
So when you say you want to expand, are you saying exclusively like technology based, or you're willing to go like art, maybe like history, or like regular, or not regular, but more more this thing, not
More broader.
technology, broader and less technology based?
That's a good question. I think right now still we want to be working around technology education in the technology sphere, or industries or professions that are adjacent to technology or use it in one way or another. Just because I believe that will make sure whatever kids at Meu Labs do will remain relevant. And also whatever they learn, they can use it to actually solve problems in the real world, and they'll be able to take it with them for the future. Because something that's really important for me is this thing called 21st century skills, stuff like problem solving that you guys mentioned is a part of it, So, what we want to do is make sure skills that are relevant for the future are taught at Meu Labs, because the other thing is people think Meu Labs is going to replace schools. That is not the case. This is more of a supplementary thing for schools. I think there are things schools are really good at doing that we know that, we don't want to do, we just look at, okay, what are schools maybe not so good at doing, and think about building those things out. And that's one of the philosophies behind the ecosystem at Meu Labs. So coming back to your again question, yes, we want to be technology adjacent, but we want to be as broad as possible, which is why we have, the creative expression course. So anyone who likes stuff like theater, music, arts, basically what you do in that course is you get to make your own piece of digital media or art. It could be like a commercial, a short film, a documentary, whatever it is. So you start off with writing your own scripts, doing your own, videography, sound recordings. You might do a bit of acting. You might learn a bit of, digital drawing, 3D design, 3D animation, stuff like that. And then you learn a lot of post-production, how to put all of it together and make a single video at the end and then produce it. So that is a creative expression course. And after that, some of the things that I have planned is, for example, I want to have the digital media or social media specialization. So because that's a massive industry right now. content creation, social media, digital media, that sort of area. So we won't have specialization so that kids who have a passion or interest in that area can learn real world tool skills and potentially get into industries or professions in those areas. But along maybe the software engineering route, again, stuff like cybersecurity is something we want to have as a specialization. Game development is something that we want to have. Along the product design route, we have the embedded systems and embedded systems engineering specialization. We have the manufacturing specialization, manufacturing robotics specialization that we want to have. That will also encompass stuff like competition robotics, stuff like fest robotics, and all of these things that you guys do. And then we also want to have something around EEE, electrical and electronics engineering. Those are the three specializations we have there. So there's a lot of things on the way, a lot of things to learn and try out. And I think the ecosystem will only grow. The way we approach it is we look at what's trending in the industry. Like we know right now, software engineering is trending, data science is trending. Yeah. So we have specializations for that. Maybe 1, 2 years, 6 months down the road, we'll have new trending industries and we might have new specializations for those as well.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions related?
Yeah, I have. Do you have?
Not related.
Okay. So another question about New Labs. I know that the word STEM and STEAM is abused a lot, at least in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
So I know many people are wondering what is the difference between this STEM and STEAM versus normal schooling and how Meu Labs is different.
That's a good question. So the way I would say is similar to how we have the .com bubble or the AI bubble, we have the STEM bubble in education. Where people, I would say, abuse the word STEM and STEAM a lot and try to associate value with that without really maybe properly using it or properly teaching it. So in a very technical sense, the word STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. STEAM is you just add another one called arts or aesthetics to it, so sort of the creative area. However, it's not just about teaching science, teaching mathematics, because you already have that at school. You have a subject called science, you have a subject called mathematics, right? So does teaching STEM, so then the natural question would be, okay, do we teach STEM at school? The answer to that is no, right? So STEM is something completely different. STEM is, or STEAM for that matter, is basically having all of those subjects come together to solve a problem. Because when you guys are even doing stuff at Meu Labs or outside or even school, when you're doing something, you don't just have to use one piece of information or use knowledge from one area. For example, when you're designing games, you need to know how to code. But at the same time, you might have to know how to draw, make art. You have to be very creative. So those things come together. So STEM, what it tries to do is it tries to replicate this environment, getting kids to, learn a bunch of different things, but apply those things together to solve a problem. So that's, in my opinion, is the philosophy behind STEM or STEAM.
Okay.
I'd like to shift topics away from kind of work related, more personal. You clearly have a gaming laptop, I think you all can also see it's a gaming laptop.
Yeah.
Alienware.
It's a 15R3.
So what games do you play?
So that's a good question. So I don't play that many games right now. This is actually, I would say one of the most reliable pieces of equipment that I have owned in my entire life, because I bought this, most people won't believe it, I bought this all the way back in 2017. So it's coming up to 8 years now, but it's still working. Back then, I was obviously into gaming. I was into a very niche genre of gaming called RTS, or real-time strategy games. You guys might have heard these things like Age of Empires and all of that. Yeah. But there was also a game called StarCraft.
StarCraft.
Yeah. So that's what I used to play back then. And also I got this because I was getting into programming, coding, and a lot of simulation works, CAD design, CAD drawing. And I want a laptop with a good GPU as well. So that's why I got this laptop back then. And since then, I've had it. So I still follow a lot of RTS games. So most people watch cricket, most people watch basketball, hockey, or whatever, right?
Yeah.
I don't. I actually watch esports. I'm more of a esports fan, but I follow sort of the RTS games. So there's still StarCraft 2 is actually dying. Blizzard has ended support for StarCraft 2. So there's nothing sort of new, no new developments happening, no support, nothing. It's just fully community run. So the number of players playing StarCraft 2 is basically declining now. A lot of players have moved on to other RTS games, but there is still some competitive scene there. So I watch a lot of games there. But then there's a Age of Empires 4 that came out a few years back. So that's one where a lot of people have drifted towards. And Age of Empires 2. There's a lot of people who go into that. There's a pretty good competitive esports scene there. So I follow some players there and watch games there. So to answer your question, I don't play that many games nowadays. I mostly watch, also because I don't have that much time. I'd much rather put up a video and watch it rather than playing.
What about WoW, World of Warcraft?
World of Warcraft, I played the campaigns, but as in Warcraft 3 and also Frozen Throne, I played all those campaigns. World of Warcraft, I haven't. I didn't really get into that. I liked the campaigns of that. I played that a lot, but didn't get into the online scene. No.
Okay. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. One more about New Labs as well.
Yeah.
Since after all, it's my employment, so I need to. So you start from a one-room office to now a two-story building.
Yeah.
So what's next?
The world, Hamadh, you're gonna take over the world. That's what's next.
That's right.
I mean, okay. To be realistic, I think what we are trying to do right now is we are still solving the problem, right? Because what we want to do is really figure out, really solve the problem and not think about scale. And that is why New Labs is we don't have New Labs Sri Lanka, Singapore, Chennai, London or whatever, because we really want to stay in one place and really figure out and solve the problem. And that problem being it's threefold. First thing is professions, careers, because people who are young, just like yourselves, or even younger than you, or maybe older than you guys, are really struggling to figure out what they want to do in their future life, in their careers, who they want to become, and they feel like whatever system that they're going through doesn't really help them get an answer to that question really well. So that is one problem that we want to solve with New Labs. Basically help people figure out what their passion, what their career is, right? The second fold thing is figure out, how do we get people to learn new things, and really get into the science of learning. That's why our tagline is learning different, because we really want to figure out how people learn, especially in a very young age, or even when you get older as well, and really think about what is the best way to learn new things, new concepts, and that is another experiment that we are trying to do. And finally, creating an impact, because at the end of the day, whatever you learn, you have to be able to use it to solve problems in your surrounding, in your community, in your country, in the world, like that, right? So we want to figure out, how do we equip young people, such as yourselves, to do that, what are the actual things you need to learn? Maybe it's not robotics, maybe it's not coding, maybe it's not AI, maybe it's something completely different. We don't know. So we really want to figure out the answer to that question. And once we do, we want to think about scaling it out. So that's, I would say, is in the near future. The way I look at Meu Labs, it's very much a research-based institute. We're doing research, but we're doing research into learning, education, and how people learn.
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to ask. Okay, so this is a question kind of based personally for me only, but I'm here, they're not. So, what about competitions? I like to go for competitions. Recognition, you get recognition from them.
Yeah.
I know you host ICIA. Do you plan to do that again?
Yeah,
And
yeah.
are there any other competitions that you're looking for?
So that's a good question. I think
Sorry to stop you. Just like you, like out of like Asia. Like there's First Robotics USA.
Yeah.
Those are like some of the really big titles across the world. So you meant to scale? You plan to scale to those, or how?
Yeah, that's a good question. So first robotics is definitely up in the horizon. We want to work on that and prepare teams that send them to first robotics. I think there is a Sri Lankan team that goes.
Yeah.
I think most of them are based around Moya, I believe.
Yeah.
And a few other schools. There might be some from British as well, I think.
No, I believe it's basically fully Moya. There's 1-2 from another school.
Yeah.
But it was mainly Moya because Moya's offering, and first was like you have to have some other schools. So
Yeah, exactly. So that is definitely in the horizon. WRO, World Robotics Olympiad, is coming up as well. Depending on when this podcast goes out, maybe we'll share information about that too. Anyone who's interested in participating, you can do that too. ICIA is coming up. We plan to go for, again, WRO, ICIA going forward every year. We'll be hosting that competition along with our partners and make sure we are able to, send people like yourselves to those competitions. But other than that, First Robotics is there. And there are some local competitions as well. For example, SLIT organizes something called SLIT RoboFest. I think you're preparing for it today as well.
Yeah.
Right? So you had the line follower set up, and just now you just finished preparing for it, right?
Yeah.
So that is there, but there are some other competitions that we want to promote as well along those areas.
okay, you have something?
One more actually.
Sure. Okay. We'll take the last question from Hamadh.
Yeah. Personal question. What's your favorite laptop brand? Obviously, it can't be Alienware now because Alienware is on the downfall because after it's acquired from Dell.
Yeah. Even when I got this, it was still acquired by Dell. It was still owned by Dell, and it
Newly
was,
owned, right?
Yeah. I'm not sure when.
Yeah,
acquired.
newly owned. I believe 2015, 2016.
Yeah.
So they're still running some of their legacy products.
Yeah. And I saw the so this is the 15, I think 17. That is the most recent one that came out from the Alienware brand. That looks pretty good. It looks very nice.
The problem is they use so much proprietary components, so it's very hard
Yeah.
for repairs. You have to send it to
That's
Alienware.
True. Actually, I had 2 repairs in this laptop that I did in Sri Lanka, and it worked okay.
Yeah,
But-
again, this is early Alienware. They were still focused on
True.
trying to be the this thing. Now there is so like this doesn't have that many proprietary parts, but
True.
modern ones generally they have a lot. The GPU slot, I also believe. I
Yeah.
could be completely wrong, but I believe the GPU slot, it's custom slot, so you would rather get a converter or
Oh, okay.
this thing.
Because I think you might have a GPU accelerator thing you can plug in. I think it's this thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With this, you can plug it into like a GPU accelerator. I've never used it, but that is there. Yeah, I mean, I don't think I'll get an Alienware. For me, I think it's very sad to say this, but in terms of where I am in my life, I don't think I can carry around a heavy, bulky gaming laptop anymore. So I need to buy some that's sleek, that's portable, that's more business friendly. Sadly.
Then something like a Mac.
Yeah, maybe something like a ThinkPad, Mac, something like that. That's sort of what I'm maybe gravitating towards. But yeah.
I mean, Alienware is like the new Mac. So, yeah. I mean,
Really?
this is very durable. Like Apple is
Oh,
like
that
the
is true.
alien. Yeah. Now I'm using the iPhone 7.
Yeah.
So my father bought it on its release. I think it was released in 2015,
iPhone 7, maybe earlier, 2011.
2011. Okay, that brings me over. So what?
Yeah.
10, 14 years, and I've been using the same phone. No problems. The only issue is that I can't upgrade to the latest iOS version. But other than that, it works perfectly fine. So
Yeah.
I feel like Mac's also the same thing.
Yeah, and there's coming into that, like repairability, durability, sustainability. There's a new laptop brand called Framework.
Yes,
If
that's
you've
the
seen
best.
it.
That's really good.
That's really good. I maybe want to try it out. That will be pretty good. But I don't think it's available in Sri Lanka yet.
Framework, if we're thinking about the same company, bulky is not really enough to describe it.
No, framework had like, they almost look like a,
They focus on DIY.
yeah, build your own laptops.
Yes.
But they're pretty sleek, and the ones they have right now are pretty good.
Maybe I was looking at a developer version, but I saw one. It was about
these
5
ones,
inches
they
thick.
almost look like a MacBook now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I was thinking about something completely
This
different.
is really good. Like, you can upgrade it. You can, all the parts you can, buy from the keyboard to all the slots to monitor, screen, everything is repairable by yourself, and everything has the same screw. And I follow this guy. It's called Louis Rossmann. He's a very famous, interesting YouTuber who talks a lot about this repairability, sustainability, right to repair, and all of that. So I'm a huge advocate of that as well. So maybe if I could buy another laptop, maybe I'll buy one of those. Yeah.
Yeah, they focus more on repairability and
Yeah.
so I guess it's good. I mean, that's a good answer, suitable. I am satisfied with it.
Brilliant. I'm glad I satisfied your question. So now up to pizza. Is the pizza here? Or not yet?
Not
Okay,
yet.
we have to wait a little bit more then. Okay, that's fine. Any parting questions?
I had one.
We forgot.
Oh yeah. What do you do university life-wise?
What did I do?
Yeah, I know you went to MIT and
Yeah.
all that. Like, how was the culture? I've seen a few videos of MIT students messing around. Like, I saw one, they took a huge building, they set up LEDs in each dorm, and they played Tetris on it.
Yeah.
So, anything like that when you were there?
Yeah, there were a lot. Maybe that's a conversation for another time, maybe. But it's a very fun and interesting environment to be in. Everyone there is really, really passionate about whatever they are doing, whether that's playing Tetris on a massive building, or building their own roller coasters out of wood.
Phineas and Ferb.
Becoming like getting really into mathematics, computer science, really pushing the boundaries of what we know. Like, whatever it is, people are really, really passionate about what they're doing. And I think that's the main thing that I took out of it. Being in such an environment, it's rubbed off on me as well. So it sort of keeps my my desire, my passion going. That's kind of where my philosophy, my way of life, my way of doing things also comes from. Yeah.
So I don't think the pizza's here, so we have a few more than one parting questions, but
Yeah, sure, okay.
you have anything?
That just now came up into my mind. So you all have 3 directors, right?
Yeah.
So I have met you and Cheyenne, but I haven't met the other one.
Pasidu. So he's
Pasidu.
based in the UK, that's why.
UK. Okay.
yeah.
So he owns Tri-Fi, right?
So we own all 3 companies together. However, in terms of managing it, we sort of divide and conquer. We realize we can't do all of them together. So I'm focusing on Meu Labs, Pasidu's focusing on Tri-Fi and a bit of Kinovation, and Shine is primarily focusing on Kinovation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I know what Kinovation and Meu Labs does and all, but I haven't heard much about Tri-Fi.
That's just the investment company.
Investment, okay.
That manages all the other companies, our initiatives, our operations, and all of that.
I don't know much about not Tri-Fi. Kinovation. What is it about?
So Kinovation is basically a software company, but we specialize in data, AI, and automation solutions. So basically, in a way, what we focus on is for SMEs, one of the biggest problems they have is going cloud native, managing their data, and building their data infrastructure. And that is one of the main things that we focus on to help our clients build, their data ecosystem, manage their data properly, and then leverage the power of that data to create AI solutions. We do give AI solutions as well, but what we always say is first figure out the data piece. Once that is there, then AI, you can really use AI and go forward.
Okay.
Yeah.
You said you offer there's a program that you run. It's like an internship program almost. Is that in works with
So Kinovation, so MuSparks is basically It sort of replicates what it's like to be in like an internship environment or do a job. So kids can come and we have hypothetical clients who sort of give projects for them and they have to basically work on those projects. So we had two kids who just finished one of the batches. They actually, worked on, I think, a student management system for Meu Labs. So Meu Labs was their client in that case. They built that out. And the way it works is, different companies and comes and gives different problems for kids to work on, and they get to do it. Yeah.
Okay, so we have to end it now.
I think so. Yeah. I think
remarks?
Vinu's waving her hands and she's asking us to stop. So
Yeah.
unfortunately, we'll have to stop. Maybe we'll continue this chat on another day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, the pizza's not here, but like we can hope. Oh, it came.
It's here. Okay.
Okay, so what are we doing?
All right. Okay.
Okay, bye.
Okay. So thank you guys. Good night. Bye.
Bye.